People run from silence like it's a curse. They fill their days with noise, their nights with distraction, their hearts with shallow connections that never satisfy. And then they wonder why they feel weak, lost, and empty. But the truth is this: you will never find your true strength in the crowd. You will never discover who you are by being surrounded by people who expect you to stay the same. You want to be unstoppable? Then you need to be alone. Not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. You need to separate yourself from the opinions, the noise, the comfort, and the praise. Because it's in solitude that warriors are born. It's in the stillness that legends rise. Being alone is not a punishment. It's a damn superpower. And when you learn to harness it, when you learn to thrive in it, when you learn to draw strength from it, nobody, not a single soul on this planet will be able to break you. You see, the world trains you to depend on people, to depend on approval, on validation, on attention. And the moment you break free from that system, you become a threat, because the one who needs nothing cannot be controlled. The one who thrives in isolation cannot be manipulated. And that's the version of you that you need to become. This speech isn't about comfort. It's not about feeling good. It's about transformation through fire, through separation, through solitude. So if you're tired of being weak, if you're sick of being overlooked, if you're done living your life by everyone else's script, it's time to embrace the one thing you've always feared: being alone and becoming a savage in the silence. Here are 10 brutal powers you unlock when you stop running from solitude and start embracing the war within. 1. Silence. The need for validation and applause. This world has tricked you. It has trained you to chase likes, followers, compliments, and claps. From the moment you were young, they told you to be a good boy, a good girl, to behave so others would smile, so they nod their heads in approval. And little by little, you were fed a poison. You were trained to depend on external praise to feel like you matter. That poison is called validation. And if you don't kill that need, it will kill your drive, your purpose. Let me be clear. As long as you need someone to notice your worth, you're not free. You're not powerful. You're a slave to other people's attention spans, a puppet pulled by the strings of public opinion. And here's what they won't tell you. People don't respect the ones who beg to be seen. They use them. They ignore them. They overlook them. Because when you scream, please notice me, what they hear is, I don't believe in myself unless you do. That is weakness. That is dependence. That is the enemy. Real strength, real power is when you can be invisible and still feel invincible and still feel invincible. It's when you can disappear from the spotlight and your fire still rages. You want to know what separates the average from the elite? It's this: the elite don't need applause to stay dangerous. They don't need recognition to stay relentless. They grind in the shadows, they suffer in silence, and they rise when no one is watching, because their mission isn't performance, it's transformation. Their only audience is the future version of themselves. That's who they work for. That's who they answer to. So think about the strongest people you've ever known, the real warriors, the unshakable ones. Were they loud? Did they whine when no one praised them? No, they were disciplined, quiet, grounded. They were too focused on the mission to care if anyone clapped. That's who you need to become. That's the energy you must own. When you walk into a room, your energy should be so solid that you don't need to speak. You don't need to perform. You don't need to win people over. You've already won yourself over. And that's the only battle that counts. Because here's the truth they don't tell you in motivational speeches. If you still need them to validate you, you'll never become the kind of person they envy. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you become dangerous. The moment you no longer need a crowd is the moment you start building a kingdom. And most people would never get there. They'll stay stuck in the cycle of begging and waiting and wondering, well, why doesn't anyone see me? But the strongest, they don't ask that question. They say, I don't need you to see me because I already see myself. And I'm coming whether you look or not. Let them ignore you. Let them underestimate you. Let them scroll past your life without giving a damn. Good. That means you're not performing, you're building. And what you build in silence cannot be destroyed by noise. That's the difference. The weak scream for validation. The strong move in silence. And the chosen few, they rise without permission. They succeed without applause. And when the world finally turns around to look, it's too late. You've already taken the throne. So ask yourself every morning, if no one clapped for me today, would I still move like a king? Would I still train like a beast? Would I still sacrifice like a warrior? If the answer is yes, you're unstoppable. And if it's no, then get to work. Because your need for validation is the leash around your neck. Break it, burn it, and become untouchable. 2, train when no one is watching, grind when no one cares. This is where the legends are born. Not when the cameras are rolling, not when the crowd is cheering, but when it's just you, the darkness, and the discipline. Let me tell you something that will either slap you awake or leave you behind. The grind you do in silence is what decides the life you get to live in public. If you only train when you're seen, you're not committed. You're addicted to attention, and that's why you're stuck. Everyone wants the results. Everyone wants the dream, but very few are willing to suffer in the shadows for it. Very few are willing to bleed in private with no applause, no likes, no reward. That's why most people stay average, because average needs witnesses. Greatness doesn't. Greatness is obsessed in secret. It's forged in the moments where quitting is easy and no one would judge you because no one even knows you're in the fight. That's when you become something else. That's when you become a weapon. Let them laugh. Let them sleep. Let them underestimate you. That's your advantage. When no one is watching, when no one gives a damn, you become free. Free from the pressure. Free from the noise. That's where you find your edge. You build alone. You sharpen alone. You suffer alone. And you transform alone. And every rep, every earning, every skip party, every lonely night, every voice that tells you, why are you doing this? Those are the bricks of your empire. Stack them, bleed on them, own them, because one day all those unseen moments will show up in your life as undeniable power. You want respect? You want dominance? Then stop needing a damn audience. Train like your name is already carved into the throne. Grind like your future depends on it, because it does. No one is going to save you. No one is going to carry you. No one is going to carry. My one is going to remind you daily to rise. And they shouldn't. This is your war, this is your pain, and this is your reward to earn. And you better get this deep in your bones. If you only give your best when someone's looking, you don't want it bad enough. If you can skip the gym because no one's waiting on you there, if you can cheat on your goals because nobody's watching, then understand something. You're not lying to them. You're lying to yourself. You're robbing your own future. You are the thief standing in the way of your destiny. So how do you win? You become relentless when it's invisible. You dominate the hours no one else is willing to sacrifice. You outwork them while they party. You outfocus them while they scroll. You outlast them while they doubt you. And you do it all without needing their eyes on you. Because by the time they finally look up, it'll be too late. You'll already be untouchable. This is the truth. The grind that no one sees will buy the life that no one believes you could have. So ask yourself, are you building when the lights are off, or are you just performing when they're on? You already know the answer. And the life you live next will depend on whether you're brave enough to fix it. So grind like you're invisible. Train like you're forgotten. Sacrifice like no one will ever care. And one day, they won't be able to ignore you even if they try. 3, build a mind that can't be broken by isolation. You want to become powerful? Then start here. Master your mind in the silence. Because when the noise stops and the crowd disappears, you will be left with only one thing, you. And if that version of you is weak, dependent, and filled with fear, then isolation won't just test you, it will break you. But if you use that isolation to sharpen your thoughts, to dominate your emotions, to fortify your mindset like steel, then you become untouchable. Too many people collapse the moment they're left alone. They reach for distractions. They drown themselves in noise. They scroll, binge, escape, because they're afraid of facing the brutal truth. Their own mind is their worst enemy. But here's the wake-up call. If your peace depends on the presence of others, then your power belongs to them. You've handed them control, and that's why you feel anxious, why you feel lost, why you keep reaching out for answers that will never come. So what do? You flip the script. You use solitude as your sanctuary, not your sentence. You stop fearing the quiet and start listening to the voice inside it, because that's where your real work begins. In the mental battlefield where no one is coming to rescue you. You challenge every fear, you break every lie, and you program your mind with truths so strong, they become armor. You tell yourself daily, I do not need company to be whole. I do not need attention to be worthy. I do not need noise to feel alive. The ones who win in this life are not the loudest in the room. They're the ones who can sit in silence and not go insane. They're the ones who turn their mind into a fortress. A weapon, a fortress, a weapons the world before it breaks. When others need motivation, they create. When others need validation, they generate it. When others fall apart in solitude, they rise from it. They become wolves in the wilderness, self-fed, self-driven, and self-made. Because here's the truth, you need to absorb. The strongest minds are not building crowds, they're building caves. They're building caves. In those dark nights when the phone is silent, the world has turned its back, and you're left with your own reflection. That's when your mental discipline is forged. That's when you either break or become something unbreakable. So you better stop running from isolation and start dominating it. You better stop fearing your thoughts and start controlling them. You better stop begging the world to complete you and realize you are already whole, already powerful, already equipped to win. All you have to do is take command of your own mind and swear it to yourself. I will never let my strength depend on another soul again. Master your mind when you're alone, and the world won't be able to touch you when you return. Let rejection become your greater weapon. Rejection is not a death sentence. It's not a sign that you're not enough. It's not a reason to stop. Rejection is fuel. Rejection is fire. Rejection is proof that you're in the arena while most people are still in the stands. And if you know how to harness it, if you train your mind to convert that pain into power, then rejection becomes your greatest weapon, not your weakness. When they say you're not good enough, you don't shrink, you expand. When they ignore your worth, your presence, your effort, you don't beg, you build. When the world slams doors in your face, laughs at your dreams, and leaves you out in the cold, you don't break down, you rise. That's how warriors are made. That's how greatness is carved, not in comfort, but in rejection that stings so deeply it awakens a version of you didn't know existed. Most people fear rejection because it touches their identity. It makes them question their value. But the strong, the truly strong, they detach their worth from the opinions of others. They don't let denial from the outside create doubt on the inside. Instead, they use rejection as a mirror. What can I sharpen? Where can I grow? What weakness just got exposed? And how do I destroy it? They don't take rejection personally. They take it professionally. Like an athlete who studies the loss to make sure it never happens again. You gotta flip your mindset. Rejection isn't punishment. It's precision. It's revealing who wasn't meant to walk with you. It's pruning what doesn't serve your vision. It's pushing you into a fire that forges you, not finishes you. And when you learn to stop fearing the no, you'll finally make room for your yes. When you stop chasing people who don't see your value, you'll have the energy to become someone they regret losing. So don't run from rejection. Don't drown in self-pity. Don't collapse because someone said you're not enough. Stand up, square your shoulders, say, you just woke up a monster. Because every time you're denied, dismissed, or disrespected, you get the choice. Collapse or come back harder. Let it trigger your evolution. Let it upgrade your hunger. Let it remind you of one brutal truth. No one is coming to save you. No one owes you approval. And no one can stop you unless you let them. Turn rejection into obsession. Turn the pain into precision. Turn the disrespect into domination. Let every no you've ever heard echo in your bones until it becomes the roar that drives you to a level they can't even see. And when you arrive, you won't knock. You'll kick the door down with a smile and say, oh, remember me. Because that's what happens when you stop being afraid to hear no. You become unstoppable. You're up. 5. Become so self-reliant that no one can hold power over you. There is a level of strength that cannot be faked. The kind that's born when you finally stop needing anything from anyone. That's self-reliance. That's the kind of power that scares people because they can't manipulate it, they can't control it, and they sure as hell can't break it. When you reach the point where no one can give you something you haven't already built inside yourself, you become untouchable. You become untouchable. In this world, everyone is trying to own your decisions. Your parents, your friends, your boss, society, they all want a piece of your mind, a say in your life. But when you become self-reliant, you take the wheel back. You say, you don't get to steer this ship. I built this, steer this ship. I built this. I drive this. And if I crash on my own terms. Self-reliance isn't arrogance. It's ownership. It's about knowing that everything you need to succeed is already in your hands. your discipline, your mindset, your work ethic, your vision. It's about never begging for motivation, never waiting for support, and never depending on applause to validate your grind. It's about waking up every day and saying, no one's coming to push me, so I push myself. No one's coming to fix me, so I rebuild myself. No one's going to hand me the life I want, so I fight like hell for it. Oh, the moment you stop needing permission is the moment you start owning your destiny. People will try to guilt you, manipulate you, distract you, even love bomb you into comfort. Why? Because a self-reliant person's dangerous. You threaten their control. You remind them of the freedom they gave up when they traded courage for convenience. But you've chosen the hard road, the lonely road, the free road. Build a life where no one can take something from you that you didn't get in the first place. Build mental toughness so ruthless that no betrayal can shatter you. Build emotional independence so strong that silence doesn't scare you, it sharpens you. Build financial freedom so firm that no job, no check, and no title can dangle power over your head. This isn't about isolation. It's about fortification. Because the world will try to make you believe you need it to survive. But when you learn to depend on you, they can't control your peace. They can't influence your decisions. They can't break your focus. They can't manipulate your work. So start now, build the skills. Master your craft. Strengthen your body. Sharpen your mind. Lock in your mission. And remember, when you become fully self-reliant, you don't walk around arrogant. You walk around free. And there's no power greater than that. 6. Use solitude as a weapon, not a weakness. Most people run from solitude. The silence scares them. The empty room makes them feel forgotten. They mistake being alone for being unwanted. And in that mistake, they flee into noise, distractions, people, validation, anything to not sit alone with themselves. But here's the brutal truth. If you can't face yourself in silence, you'll never survive the noise of the world. Solitude is not a prison. It is a forge. And if you're strong enough, it becomes your weapon. When you're alone, you see what others are too distracted to see. Your fears, your insecurities, your weaknesses, but instead of hiding from them, you confront them. You stare them down, one by one. You say, I will not run. I will not numb. I will not escape. I will conquer. That's what solitude gives you. The raw, unfiltered mirror of truth. And only those brave enough to look into it, can change what they see. Use your solitude to sharpen your mind like a blade. A blade. Use it to build insane discipline, to train with no audience, to grind with no applause, to grow in the shadows where no one watches. While others need praise, you need silence. While others collapse without. While they're addicted to being seen, you're addicted to becoming unstoppable. That's the shift. You stop fearing being alone and start craving it. Because you know, that's where your evolution happens. That's where the plans get drawn. That's where the pain gets processed and turned into power. That's where you break all the limits you once accepted, alone. Let them think you're isolated. Let them whisper, he's falling off. Let them say you're quiet, withdrawn, different. Good. Let them say what they want while you build in silence. Because when you reemerge, you won't just be back. You'll be unrecognizable. You'll have trained your mind to obey you, your body to endure, your heart to never break, and your mission to become a non-negotiable reality. That doesn't happen in crowds. That doesn't happen in constant noise. That doesn't happen when you're always seeking connection. It happens when you lock the doors, turn off the world, and say, now it's just me and the grind. Alone is not empty. Alone is full of fire, of clarity, of purpose, of focus. Alone is where you stop pretending and start transforming. Alone is where you stop needing the world to believe in you, because you believe in you, and that's all you'll ever need. So stop looking at solitude like a punishment. Start using it like a weapon. Because while others are wasting time chasing approval, you'll be using silence to build the kind of power they'll never understand until it's too late. 7. Build an inner world so powerful that nothing external can break you in a world obsessed with appearances, addicted to validation, and constantly pulled by the noise of opinions, trends, and superficial status. The most dangerous weapon you can possess is an unshakable inner world. A fortress within, a mind, a soul, and a spirit so deeply rooted in purpose, power, and self-mastery that no betrayal, no rejection, no storm, and no failure can even touch your core. You must become untouchable internally, not because life won't try to break you, but because everything that could break you already tried and failed. Being alone gives you the sacred space to build that world. When the noise fades, when the distractions are gone, when the opinions vanish, what remains? That's where the real construction begins. The world inside you is either your greatest source of pain or your greatest source of peace. And if you don't build it consciously, the chaos outside will dictate everything you think, feel, and do. This is the brutal truth. If your sense of worth, confidence, happiness, and purpose depends on anything external, it will be ripped from you sooner or later. That relationship, that job, that follower count, that praise, it all disappears. And when it does, what are you left with you? So build a mind that doesn't shatter under pressure. Train your thoughts to serve you, not sabotage you. Build values that are unshakable, principles that are non-negotiable, and a vision so powerful it makes pain irrelevant. Build the kind of inner world where rejection only strengthens your mission, loneliness only fuels your focus, and setbacks only sharpen your discipline. This kind of inner power can't be born. It can't be gifted. It's built in the trenches, in the silence of your suffering, in the isolation of your grind, in the days when no one checks on you, but you still show up like a warrior. You have to go through the fire alone to earn this kind of mental armor. No one can build it for you, and once you have it, you become untouchable. The world can take everything from you, and you will still stand tall, because you never relied on it in the first place. They can laugh, lead, betray, mock, criticize, but they can't move you because you didn't build your empire in their approval. You built it in solitude, in silence, in suffering. Your enemies will feel it. They'll sense it. That terrifying power, the kind that doesn't need to yell, the kind that moves in silence and strikes with precision, the kind that walks alone, not because it has no one, but because it needs no one to stay strong. So dig deep, go inward, build that world, make it unbreakable, and then let the world try. Let it throw its storms. Its pain is betrayal. You'll walk through the fire untouched because the real you, the unstoppable you, lives in a place no one else can reach and no one else can destroy. 8. Transform rejection into your most powerful weapon, rejection. The one word that, for many, strikes terror to their hearts. The thing that makes the strongest of us tremble. But why? Why? Why does rejection have the power to cripple so many? It's because rejection, at its core, is a mirror. It forces us to confront our greatest fears, our worth, our place, and our value in this world. But here's the brutal truth. Rejection is not the enemy. It is a weapon you will use to carve your path to power. When you choose to embrace rejection rather than run from it, you gain insurmountable strength. Every no becomes a not yet. Every closed door forces you to find a new way in. Every failure sharpens your focus, toughens your skin, and pushes you to rise higher than you've ever risen before. Rejection, when faced with the right mindset, becomes a test of your character, a measure of how badly you want it. And when you start seeing rejection not as a setback, but as a signal that you're moving in the right direction, your entire approach to life changes. Every no is a step closer to a yes. Every failure is a lesson you would never learn if you were to sit back and let life pass you by. It's the pain of rejection that forges the steel of your character. It's the sting of defeat that teaches you resilience. Rejection, when wielded correctly, becomes a tool to propel you forward rather than a reason to give up. You must seek rejection. You must run toward it. Not because you want to fail, but because you understand that every rejection brings you closer to greatness. Every no is an opportunity to build your mental toughness, to push your limits, to remind yourself that you have the grit to keep going, no matter how many times life tells you to stop. If you refuse to let rejection control you, you will master the art of turning every setback into an opportunity. You will start to see rejection as a stamp of approval, that you are stepping outside of your comfort zone, that you are daring to go for what others won't, that you are taking risks where others are too afraid to act. Rejection is not personal. It's a signal. It's a reminder that you are on the path of greatness. It means you're pushing boundaries, breaking limits, and getting closer to your goals. When you refuse to accept rejection as defeat, but instead accept it as fuel for the fire, you turn it into your weapon of choice. Let rejection be the thing that drives you. Let it make you hungrier, sharper, and more determined than anyone else. When you stop fearing rejection, you start conquering your fear. And when you conquer your fears, nothing will stand between you and your ultimate success. You are no longer the victim of rejection. You are its master. You wield it like a sword, using its edge to carve your path to victory. Rejection is your ally, not your enemy. Let it fuel your fire and drive you toward the life you're destined to live. 9. Become so self-reliant that no one can hold power over you when you are alone. You are the only one who has complete and absolute control over your destiny. You are the one who decides how much you will grow, how far you will push yourself, and whether you will rise or fall. Self-reliance is not a choice. It is a necessity. If you are waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed, or if you believe that the world owes you something, you are already setting yourself up for failure. You must understand this one truth deep in your bones. No one will fight for you the way you must fight for yourself. Not your family, not your friends, not anyone else in this world. The moment you rely on others for your success, you are giving away your power. You are handing someone else the reins to your life. Self-reliance is the ultimate form of strength. It means you take complete ownership of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. It means you stop waiting for opportunities to come to you and start creating them. You'll start creating them yourself. It means you stop waiting for others to validate you and start validating yourself. It means you stop being dependent on anyone and anything and start relying on your own ability to make things happen. To be self-reliant means you refuse to be a victim of circumstance. It means you take responsibility for your own situation, no matter how difficult or painful. When you are self-reliant, you refuse to accept excuses. You refuse to accept limitation. You see obstacles as stepping stones to your goals, not as reasons to stop. Self-reliance means that when everyone else walks away, you are still standing. It means that when everyone else gives up, you are the one pushing forward. It means that when life throws everything it has at you, you stand your ground because you know that you are the only one who can decide whether or not you will succeed. Being self-reliant doesn't mean you do it all alone, but it means you recognize that the strength to move forward must come from within. It's about taking full ownership of your life and not waiting for anyone else to give you the keys to your future. No one can help you if you aren't willing to help yourself. When you are self-reliant, no one can control you. You are in charge of your own destiny. No one can hold power over you because you have built a life based on your own principles, your own standards, and your own willpower. Your power lies in your ability to depend on yourself and no one else. You can walk into any situation, any environment, any challenge, and know that no matter what happens, you have everything you need to succeed. You trust yourself completely, and that trust is unshakable. You don't wait for others to give you permission to win because you have already decided that nothing is going to stop you. To be self-reliant is to be unstoppable. When you learn to trust yourself and stand firm in your own strength, nothing and no one can derail you from your purpose. Momentum, no one can. You are the captain of your own ship. You are the one who decides which direction to take, and no one can take that power away from you. Build the muscle of self-reliance. Strengthen your mind, your body, and your spirit. Stop relying on others to define your worth. Start defining it yourself. Start trusting in your own power, your own decision, your own abilities. When you become self-reliant, you become your own foundation. You are no longer swayed by the opinions, actions, or expectations of others. You are free. You are strong. You are unstoppable. And the world will have no choice but to respect that power. No one can hold power over you when you own your own life. 10. Master the art of being comfortable with discomfort if you are going to truly unlock your power. If you are going to elevate yourself to levels that most people cannot even imagine, you must master the art of being comfortable with discomfort. Yeah? This is one of the most important truths about greatness. If you cannot tolerate discomfort, you will never be able to push yourself past your limits. You will never be able to break free from the chains of complacency, mediocrity, and fear that hold most people down. Life will never be easy. It will never be smooth. It will never be without struggle. The path to greatness is paved with pain, rejection, failure, and sacrifice. The people who rise to the top, the ones who achieve what others say is impossible, are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who embrace it, who grow stronger because of it, and who make it a part of their daily routine. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is a sign of growth. It is a sign that you are pushing yourself beyond the limits of your comfort zone and into the territory where only the strong survive. And if you want to become one of those strong individuals, you must be willing to embrace discomfort as a part of your reality. Think about it. Everything you want, everything you dream of achieving is on the other side of hard work and sacrifice. It's on the other side of fear, rejection, and pain. The moment you decide to push through discomfort, you are one step closer to your goals, one step closer to mastering your life. You cannot control the challenges that life throws at you, but you can control how you react to them. You can choose whether you crumble under the pressure or whether you rise and meet it head on. The greatest achievers in history were not immune to struggle. In fact, they thrived in it. They made it their friend, their teacher, and ally. When you get comfortable with discomfort, you begin to see it for what it truly is. An opportunity to grow, to get stronger, to push beyond your perceived limits. Every challenge, every moment of pain is a chance to improve yourself. It is a chance to develop the mental toughness and resilience that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. No one becomes great by avoiding challenges. No one achieves greatness by running away from discomfort. The truly unstoppable people in this world are the ones who face their fears, their pain, their limitations, and embrace them. They don't try to avoid discomfort. They run straight toward it. They invite it into their lives because they know that the struggle is the only thing that will make them better. Being comfortable with discomfort means you stop running from what scares you. You stop avoiding the hard work. You stop making excuses. You stop allowing pain to derail your progress. Instead, you look at discomfort straight in the eye and you say, I will not be defeated by you. You will not stop me. When you are comfortable with discomfort, you develop a different mindset. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and you start seeing them as stepping stones. You stop seeing pain as something to be feared and you start seeing it as a tool for your growth. You stop being afraid of failing and you start embracing it as part of the process. You must learn to seek discomfort, seek the challenge, seek the struggle, seek the pain. It is in these moments that you truly discover who you are. It is in these moments that you discover your strength, your resilience, and your power. And once you learn to embrace discomfort, once you learn to thrive in it, nothing will ever stop you again. You will be unstoppable. The moment you learn to be comfortable with discomfort, you learn to be comfortable with greatness. You will no longer be intimidated by challenges. You will no longer shy away from hard work. You will no longer let fear control you. Instead, you will rise up, push through, and keep moving forward, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Discomfort is your greatest ally. It is your key to success. So learn to embrace it, master it, and use it to fuel your journey. When you do, there will be nothing in this world that can stand in your way. You will not just survive the challenges of life. You will conquer them.
Own your power. Own your life as you stand at the crossroads of who you are and who you want to become. Remember that being alone is not a curse. It is a blessing. It is in these moments of solitude where you forge your character, your resilience, and your power. You must embrace the silence, the isolation, the pain, and the struggles because they are the forge in which your strength will be molded. You are stronger than you think, and it is through the rawness of being alone that you will discover just how powerful you truly are. The world does not need you to fit in. It needs you to stand out, to be a force that cannot be ignored. You are not meant to follow the crowd, to blend into the noise of everyday life. You are meant to create your own path, to carve out a legacy that only you can leave behind. Every battle, every sacrifice, every moment of pain is a step toward that greater version of yourself, the one who stands tall in the face of adversity, who rises above the chaos, and who owns their destiny. Don't let the world's expectations or others' judgments define you. Stop looking for validation in places where it does not exist. Look within yourself. You are your greatest source of power. The more you embrace your solitude, the more you will unlock the potential that others fail to see. You will transform your loneliness into a source of strength, your fears into fuel, and your pain into purpose. You must learn to build your mind like a fortress, to protect your peace and focus on your mission. Your enemies, both external and internal, will try to break you down. They will laugh at your struggles, dismiss your efforts, and try to pull you back into their comfortable world of mediocrity. But remember, your strength comes from your willingness to stand alone. It is in the struggle, in the quiet moments of solitude, that you rise higher than they ever will. When you embrace being alone, you learn to control your thoughts, your actions, and your future. You are no longer dependent on others to determine your worth or your success. You become your own greatest supporter, your own fiercest advocate. The journey ahead will not be easy, but it will be yours to conquer. Stand tall in your solitude. Seek discomfort and growth in the silence. Push past the doubts, the fears, and the criticisms. Let those who doubt you fuel your fire. Use every moment of solitude as a chance to build a version of yourself that is unbreakable, unstoppable, and undeniably powerful. This journey is not about waiting for someone else to save you. It's about realizing that you are the hero of your own story, and no one can take that power from you unless you allow them to. You owe it to yourself to rise, to stand in your strength, and to live a life that will leave an unforgettable legacy. Own it, all of it. You are alone, but you are stronger than you could ever imagine. Now go out and prove it.